To be really honest with you, I wanted to cancel on. I tried to cancel on you about 3 or 4 times. I almost canceled on you just now. Where the fuck is McClay?
All right, action.
Awesome. This is the Bogcast. If you enjoy the show, just make sure you hit the subscribe button, the like button, and leave a comment. You could also find more videos above McClay's head. So, oh, fuck. Anyway, this is like, my heart's fucking pounding right now, dude. This is like probably the most nervous I've ever been for a podcast, to be honest with you, dude.
Yep. Yeah, this is a tough one.
I've just been debating whether to even do this podcast, and to be really honest with you, I wanted to cancel on. I tried to cancel on you about 3 or 4 times. I almost canceled on you just now. Seriously, like but then just something just keeps pulling me through, because like I not only do I just need it and it's the best thing for me, but I know like ultimately it's not what my dad would want to do. But I'll just fucking say it. Just literally a week ago from today, my fucking dad passed away, and oh man, it's just been just a roller coaster of emotions, just fucking thoughts, just gracious support from everybody, friends and family. To be honest with you, I'm just in complete fucking shock right now. I go back and forth from like thinking it's real and thinking it's not. I'll probably even look back at this podcast one day and be like, fuck, my head wasn't there. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. I just, but I was just battling in my fucking head, dude, just to whether to do this or not. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, it's tough.
There's just this weird guilt. Like, I don't know. I can't really explain it. Like moving on with your life, I guess. You know what I mean? But my dad doesn't want me fucking, like, what else am I gonna do? If I wasn't doing this, dude, I'd probably just be fucking sitting here by myself. Jordan's at work. I'd just be crying and shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because when you're alone is when you're most into your thoughts. You know what I mean? And when these kinds of things happen, I mean, literally every fucking thought and emotion goes through your head. You know what I mean?
One of the things that you said to me the day after, it might have been that night, was how you just wanted to turn off and how worried you were, you know, that like if there ever was going to be a time where you were going to relapse it, like this. Well,
that's the other biggest issue too is, I mean, I don't know how, you know, if you've listened to this podcast, we've talked about it here and there, but you know, me and McClay are both ex-heroin addicts, and if I don't stay busy normally, like my mind goes, you know, to wanting to just get fucked up. You know what I mean? So when something really traumatic and bad happens, that's like the first thing I want to do. I just want to get fucked up.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when I was around my family and shit, like, you know, everyone's having trouble sleeping and stuff, you know, and everyone's talking about like, oh, I'm going to take a Xanax tonight to sleep and shit, you know, and I can't do that, because if I take one Xanax, I'm going to want to take a fucking 100 of them. You know what I mean? And fucking 3 or 4 days will go by. I won't even know what happened. I'll do all kinds of weird shit. You know how Xannies are and shit. And I love fucking Xanax, dude. The only thing I honestly have is cannabis, but cannabis doesn't remove you from your thoughts like Xanax does. You know what I mean?
That was one of the things.
Cannabis does help a lot, like as far as mellowing me out and my anxiety and chilling out, but like the thoughts don't go away. No. You know what I mean?
Xanax is like a dissociative. It just shuts you off.
Totally.
I remember that's what you said. You said that they were talking about, you know, that they're going to take a Xanax, and I need a Xanax right now.
I don't blame them for that.
No,
they're not
they're
not like these crazy Xanny poppers and shit. Like, I don't blame them. Like, if I could keep my shit together, you know, I'd take.
That's what it's there for.
Exactly.
When you use it right, that's what it's there for.
Because the worst is at nighttime, dude. When you're in bed and you need sleep because you're emotionally and physically drained, and then your fucking thoughts are just going everywhere. You know what I mean?
And I remember you said you made the comment. You're like, "Fuck, dude, I want a fucking Xanax. I don't want to think anymore."
Yeah, exactly.
And I was just like,
Yeah, it sucks. So it's just like I just so what I'm trying to say is the only way I could get away with my thoughts is to stay as busy as fucking possible. But then there's just like weird guilt that goes along with it, like I'm supposed to be mourning, you know what I mean? So, but fuck, I don't know. I don't know what to fucking do right now, you know what I mean? Chad was nice enough to message me cuz we're shooting, late fees right now and shit, and he's like, don't worry about the film. We have a couple of shoot dates coming up. And he's like, don't worry about anything, this and that. He lost a father, I guess, 7 years prior and shit. He's like, if you need to talk, very touching and shit. And I thought about it and I was just like, fuck, I need these guys more than ever. It's like my film family and shit. Like, I don't, my dad doesn't want me to put the film on hold. He wanted to come out and see it and shit. Like, that would just delay everything. Like,
Yeah,
I need to be around that shit.
You need to do stuff that you enjoy doing.
Yeah.
Because if you don't do that, it just...
So that's why, like, ultimately, like I said 5 minutes ago, I was just going to cancel on you. And I just was like, there's this weird voice. I don't know if it was my dad or whatever. I'm not saying it's my dad or whatever, but just saying, what the fuck? I don't want you to see you doing this shit. Fucking get your ass out there and fucking do the fucking podcast. You know what I mean? And I don't know. This is kind of, in a sense, therapy for me. I can get shit off my chest. You know what I mean? Maybe other people can relate to it and shit. Coincidentally, in the meantime, man, like, we got we get comments here and there, but this last week we got a few comments that were like crazy. Really good about the podcast, and not just well, in particular, like the episodes we do, which I'm usually worried, like, oh, are these like the boring episodes, or because usually we have guests and stuff like that. But to get the comments that we did, I was like, wow, these people really fucking enjoy the show, like fucking. And for me, I feel like we've been stagnant on content anyway. I mean, not just. So that's what's been actually happening the last week. We actually had 2 guests lined up for Sunday, and they both canceled, which is no big deal. It's not, I don't give a shit. Shit happens or whatever. But I was battling doing that, because my dad passed away on Wednesday, and then we had that podcast Sunday, and I was like, you know what? I'm just going to keep it booked, and if I just can't do it that day, I'll just cancel on, you know what I mean? Yeah. Like, I figured it wouldn't be that big of a deal. And I found myself Sunday, because one of the guests didn't cancel till like last second. So like Sunday, I thought I was going to have to do all this family shit, which got moved over. So I ended up spending a couple hours doing research on the guy. He was like very interesting, but I fucking totally took my mind off of it. And you know what I mean? And I was really actually kind of excited to do the podcast, but then fucking when I got canceled, I was just like, fuck. And then I was just here alone with my thoughts again. You know what I mean? It just sucks. Yeah. So.
Yeah. If you don't mind, do you mind telling what happened?
So first of all, it's not.
I know it's hard.
No, I know. Hard, yeah. A lot of people have been asking, and especially like with the services and things like that. There's just a lot of kind of fucked up shit in the background with COVID that's going on. But this isn't a COVID-related death. But there was like, it's just weird. There's a few moments where we did think it could possibly been COVID-related, because the week prior, I had this weird feeling that my dad was going to get COVID, and I just sent him a message saying, hey, Dad, can you just take these fucking vitamins, every day? Because these really boost your immune system is C, D, and zinc, you know what I mean? And I actually was really proud of my dad, because he takes so many fucking meds that certain vitamins clash with it. Like I know vitamin, I think K or something like that does. So he's like, I'm going to call my doctor to see if I could take these vitamins. And he did that the next day and started taking them. The following day, he's like, Julie got COVID. Julie's my stepmom. Was like, oh my God. And I could hear like the tone in his voice, like he was fucking worried and shit, and I was fucking worried. So the entire weekend up until Monday, I was just messaging him, and he was saying he felt completely fine. And then starting Sunday, Monday, he was just saying he was bored, but he was tired. And then I don't want to just get too into it, but long story short, he woke up on Wednesday morning, and he I guess his hands looked blue, and he just had trouble breathing. And so my stepmom called 911. The ambulance came, fucking rushed him. I got that shitty phone call, so I just raced over to my sister's and shit. And my dad just had a bad heart he's been dealing with for years, yeah. And there's this
ever since I've known you.
Yeah, there's this weird internal bleeding issue that he had that the doctors could just never figure out where it was coming from. He had a fucking camera shoved every which way, every test done you can think of. He was in the hospital 2 or 3 times prior to this, where his blood levels will just completely drop. He would retain water, like his belly would get really fucking big. Circulation issues, like so they rushed him to the hospital, but by the time he got there, he had a few heart attacks. They tried to resuscitate him, which ended up breaking his pacemaker, so they had him on an external pacemaker. And then I guess he had another heart attack, and then he ended up just being on life support, man. And then as we were trying to go visit him, this is like the most fucked up shit, is that because of the COVID shit, you can't visit him. So my stepmom, who had COVID, obviously was allowed to go, but couldn't because of COVID. So my brother-in-law was calling to see if me or my sister could go to at least say goodbye to him while he was on life support. You know what I mean? And he was on hold for about 25 fucking minutes. And then by the time the nurse got on, she's like, you might want to talk to his wife because some new information came up. And right then I knew he was fucking gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
can you talk, do you mind, this is probably gonna be hard, but do you mind talking about, at that moment, what you saw and what you were going through?
Honestly, man, I was just outside just looking at the sun, and it was a bright, shiny, it was a beautiful day, man. It was the same exact day when my mom passed, and like it sounds so stupid, but like literally a dark cloud just like flew by, man. And I just knew right away, like just my whole body just became empty and shit. And yeah, and the whole day was fucked up, dude. Like there was the most fucked up day ever.
Yeah, it was really shitty because you called me early.
I have to bring up some comedic shit that happened that day.
Yeah.
Well, first of all, the day started off shitty. I woke up to finding out that Breed had passed away.
Yeah.
And Breed, it's not like Breed was like this really close friend of mine, but we worked together a lot, and, and he's a good friend of DT, best friends of CT. And it was just, and he's like, he's actually younger than I am. So I was just like, what the fuck? I'm like, well, what about his daughter? What happened? So I just had I was already fucking woke up just like, fuck. And then Jordan normally runs Fabius in the morning, and then I walk Gertie, and then we switch, and then I walk Fabius or whatever. And this time, for some reason, I decided to walk Gertie with her to Fabi's poop spot or whatever outside of our complex. And as we pull out onto the sidewalk, I was looking back, and I just hear, babe, babe, babe. And I'm like, what? And I turn around, and there is just a 6'2" naked, completely butt naked black guy with a huge, massive hog walking right towards us. Just fucking, I was like, what the fuck? So I had to like move Fabius. Jordan was already out of the way, and I had to move Fabius, out of his way. Like he wasn't getting out of the way. And I was just thinking, oh my God, if this what if he just ran at us? You know what I mean? So then, I actually grabbed my phone out, took a couple pictures just really quick because I had to post that shit. You know what I mean? I was laughing my ass off for like 2 hours at that, dude. Because it really cheered me up from the Breed shit. Yeah. And then I actually called you. We were going to do a pod. And then we decided to do it the following day. And then literally right after that is when my sister called me, dude, on Facebook. And what's odd about phone calls, I realize these days, is that you kind of know something bad happens when someone calls you because no one calls each other anymore. Especially if like, it's not that me and my sister don't call each other, but it's just a text world nowadays. You know what I mean?
Social
like we're constantly fucking texting and messaging each other. You know what I mean? And so when she had called, especially through Facebook Messenger, which was really odd to me, I kind of just had a bad feeling, about the whole thing. And it just like for the past like few years, like I've even been telling Jordan, I feel like I was a little bit more prepped for this than when my mom passed. My mom passed in 2009. She passed away from cancer. But when my mom passed, I thought that the doctors were going to take care of it. Like she was going to be fine. And, I kicked myself in the ass for not being more proactive in her health during that time. You know what I mean? But it was, to me, it still was out of nowhere.
Yeah.
But no matter how much you prep yourself, man, you fucking, you can't.
There's nothing.
There's nothing that can prepare you for it. The only thing that I thank God, well, I don't thank God because I'm not religious, but the only thing I'm thankful about is that when my mom died, I was a full-blown fucking painkiller addict. You know what I mean? So like
you
literally
could turn off.
Literally in the next, that is true. I mean, I cried my eyes out and all that shit then, but I honestly don't feel like I really mourned that shit till years later when I was off all this shit, when real dopamine was coming in through my body and shit. You know what I mean? So, you're right. I was able to turn off, but I was also able to I was so depressed when I was around these guys I was hooking shit up with, and they're like, "Hey, you want to try heroin?" The one thing I told myself I'd never do, and it was just like, "Fuck yeah," you know what I mean? And then that was game over.
Yeah. Yep.
So, the only way I could turn off now is to stay busy.
Yeah. Well, you also have some support system.
Well, I mean that too. Yeah. That's what I mean by staying busy.
Yeah, exactly.
Like hanging out with people.
Yeah.
I have to thank everybody just for fucking. I've gotten messages from people I haven't talked to in fucking years and shit. People on Facebook I don't even fucking know, dude. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like commenting and messaging and shit, just offering support and whatever. And no one knows what to do or say during those moments and shit. But everything fucking helps.
Yeah.
Every comment, everything I read, it's just
just I'm sorry and that I love you, and that's about it.
Yeah.
That and whatever you need.
So as far as services and shit, man, people have been asking about that too. But my dad his wishes were just to get cremated, and he didn't want any services, and just to get cremated as fast as possible, and then just have the funeral service at the veterans funeral place or whatever.
So what's going on with that? Have you guys figured it out?
It just fucking pisses me off because I don't know. It's just everyone uses an excuse, but even the funeral homes, because of COVID, and it's literally getting the doctor and the person from the funeral home to sign the fucking death certificate just to fucking cremate them. It's let's get this shit going.
This is so wrong, and if anything has ever made me do, there's only a few things that's ever made me do this. And literally, I'm not a political person, but if there's something very much wrong with our society right now, and we need to let our politicians know, somebody know that can fix this. But when loved ones can't see their deceased loved ones, that's wrong. There's no reason for that at all. Especially if one of the loved ones, if the wife has COVID, who fucking cares at this point? That's wrong. People need the option. They need to be able to see their loved ones. There's people out there whose loved ones are going through it right now, and they don't know if they're going to make it. And they've been in there for 2 weeks.
It's fucked up,
and
dude.
They have not seen their family.
And then if they just fucking die, then that's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's wrong.
And then
and I'm sorry for that, dude. That sucks.
I know. I mean, I think about it even just for all of the fucking families this fucking past year that's been going through getting COVID and then dying and out of nowhere. And it's just the fact that you don't get to say goodbye is just the shittiest thing in the world, dude. I talk to my dad almost every day through message, at least. We talk once a week for 20, 30 minutes. I didn't get to last see him till since Christmas, you know what I mean? And because his wishes were not to have the service, we got to fucking keep to his wishes, obviously. So, there's no I don't know, man.
Closure,
I guess. Yeah. That's why I feel that's one of the main reasons why I feel like it just doesn't seem real. Because when my mom passed, dude, I watched them fucking pull the plug on her and shit, And so
yeah, that's wrong, dude. That's wrong.
I'm not saying that's what I want to see, but I don't know. You just want to be there holding their hand and shit,
Yeah.
Because it's he's alone. And shit.
Yeah. It's fucking wrong.
I know. It sucks.
Four people last week, dude, that we know I'm not including your dad, passed away because of COVID.
Who?
Um, maybe not last week, but within the last couple of weeks. Um, Jesse Stevens. I don't know if you ever knew Jesse Stevens. He was a good friend of like Corey and Spencer and Jay.
Jesus Christ, dude.
I think Jeff. Don't know about Nightbreed, but like that's one of the things I
No,
can.
that wasn't COVID related.
You don't think so?
No, I'll tell you about
Okay.
that after.
All right. I mean, like, and then you just that's it's wrong. You would think that they could put like no shit, dude. You would think that you could fucking put on some type of. I know this would be bad. It would be shitty, and I'd be angry
Put on a
about that.
spacesuit?
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Like what the fuck?
The people in the ER that work there, they probably love it because you know what I mean. Dealing with crazy families and shit during those moments has just got to be fucking wild, dude.
You know what I want to say to that? If there are, I don't know if they are, but if they are, if they feel that way, that's fucking wrong.
I shouldn't say that.
And here's
I should
why.
not say that, but it's got to make their jobs easier.
Here's
you know
why.
what I mean?
Here's why it makes them wrong, because those nurses help so much to those families. You know?
Yeah. So I actually should finish the story. I know I did say it was a non-COVID death, but at that time, we weren't sure if he had COVID because my dad just taken the test on Wednesday, so we were still waiting for the COVID test. So I was like, did he die from fucking COVID? I mean, it was clear that he had the heart attacks and the internal bleeding, but I was like, if they fucking put this down as a goddamn COVID death, you know what I mean? And the test actually came back negative, which blows my mind because he was living in the same household with my stepmom who had COVID, even though they took precautions and, you know, fucking, I think they even stayed in different rooms and shit like that. But yeah, so yeah, man.
Sucks. And even for those people who aren't COVID related deaths, which those people could have been non-COVID related deaths, then I should be able to see my fucking family.
Yeah, I don't know when that's going to change or how long that's going to go for. From what I'm reading, since Biden's president, they already decided to open up everything in New York and LA now again.
Shows that they
political.
They didn't give two shits, bro.
Yeah, I know.
They didn't give two shits. But none of them gave two shits. They don't. They don't care. You know what? Another thing I heard is that, they're trying to do stuff that, like they said they wouldn't do. You know what I mean? They're putting people out of fucking work in energy and oil industry and energy industry, and he said he wouldn't do that. And the first week in office, he does that.
That's
and there's
politics, of course. Everything they say they're gonna do, they don't do it. And shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, this COVID shit's fucked up. But as far as my stepmom, I mean, she's healthy now. She did her quarantine. She can leave the house and stuff. So this is the other thing that's fucked up. So during the day this happens, my stepmom's still in quarantine.
Yeah.
So she's going through this all alone. You know what I mean? So luckily my brother-in-law went over there. He just talked to her through the fucking door. I went over there the next day, talked to her through the door and shit, you know. She's surrounded by all these reminders and shit. I can't even fucking look at my dad's jacket.
Yeah.
I wear my dad's jacket all the time, this green badass military jacket that he gave me, and I don't know, it's more because I just don't want to fuck it up, you know what I mean? But I couldn't imagine just having all these reminders and shit, you know, and I just feel bad for fucking my stepmom. I feel so fucking bad for my sister. My sister's fucking pregnant, you know. Yeah. How exciting she is to, you know, she wanted her fucking new kid to marry her grandpa and shit, and it's just fuck. I don't mean to fucking bum everybody out. I mean, no, I don't fucking blame you if you tune this out and turn this one off.
No, it sucks.
It's more I'm just trying to get it off my chest and shit, and it just makes you think, you know, About your own mortality?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like reading his fucking wishes and all that bullshit? Like, should we start writing our shit? Our fucking wills and wishes and all that? I was thinking about it. I think I want to get cremated.
Oh yeah.
I don't want to be fucking dug up hundreds of years from now in some like fucking
No.
museum and shit. Or
No. No. Yeah, man. I don't know what to think.
I just had to say thanks though, man, for just being there for me, coming over and shit, and you fuck. I mean, literally everybody, but you've been a really good friend in all this, man, and
Hell yeah, bro.
means a lot and shit. So
Well, one of the good things that you can look at it is you had a really good relationship with your dad, man, over the last couple of years.
I know I am really happy about that, but it just I try to think of those things as much as I can, but then like my head immediately goes to, and I'm just gonna be honest, it's just because when I was a drug addict and doing all these things,
Yeah,
I
I
was a
know.
big piece of shit.
I
And
know.
so, like,
I know how that feels.
that's how
dude.
my fucking I just oh god,
I know.
fuck. It's like, why was I such a fucking piece of shit?
Yeah, I
You
know
know?
how that feels, dude.
All any kid wants to do is make their their parents proud and shit.
Yeah.
You know, it's just like fuck.
One of the things that I always tell people that I get a lot of people that come to me to, ask advice on getting off drugs. And one of the things that I always say is the best feeling you'll ever have is being able to make your parents smile again. You know what I mean?
I know, but I know people like say that and shit, like, oh, your dad's proud that you overcame that, blah blah blah. But it's like,
No, it's
that
not.
shouldn't be something proud because I shouldn't have gotten myself in it in the first place.
No,
Does that make sense?
Yeah, but that's what it is. It's they're happy to have a relationship with their son again.
And then and then even the thoughts of like, I hope he never ever felt like guilty, like he was like a bad parent or something, or like he fucked up. It's like, no, you weren't. Like he was a fucking goddamn good dad.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was just, for some reason, I don't know, man, just a piece of shit.
No,
And it was
dude.
nothing because of anything he ever did.
Mm-hmm.
This was like, I just hope there wasn't a day where he was like, man, I just hope, like he just never felt like I'm a shitty dad, like blah blah blah.
No, dude. No, dude. I talked to your dad quite a few times, dude. Your dad was proud of you, dude.
Thanks, man. Oh, fuck. It's just crazy because we talk about this shit just recently on the podcast, just about worrying about our parents and shit. And you know what else is crazy? It's like, I knew this was going to happen almost, dude, when fucking Don Rizzo passed away. Because it always fucking happens in a series.
You know what, bro?
I can't fucking stop thinking about it. It was literally February Don Rizzo. And then in the summer, fucking Mando. I mean, literally within 9 months. And that's what it was like when my mom passed away. It was fucking Merc. Out of nowhere. Just fucking kills himself.
Jamie.
It was like, fuck. Then Jamie.
Yeah.
A fucking unwarranted overdose. Like, he wasn't even like really a drug addict. He was just partying and shit.
You know what, bro?
It's like, I hate that saying, when it rains it pours, but fuck, that saying didn't come up for no reason.
You know what, bro? Here's how I have to look at it now. When you're kids, it's great. Everything's like this. Life is like this, bro.
Oh yeah.
When you're adult, life is more like this and very small increments of positivity. That's fucking because, and you know why? Because people are dying.
Yeah.
When you're getting older,
Oh, I
you're
know.
losing people, and that sucks. It sucks. It's really shitty. And you just got to fucking deal with the in-betweens. That's the only way to do it.
It's
And
like,
and to think of it how you're thinking of it, like your dad wouldn't want you to fucking even fucking feel that way for a half a second.
What?
Just negative about anything.
Oh, I know. He just, I mean, he even said it, like, he just wants us to fucking take care of each other and just be happy and shit. The reason why he didn't want a service is because he, in his words, he doesn't want to prolong the grief.
Yeah.
So, I mean, obviously we're all going to respect that. So,
Can I ask you a weird question? Palate cleanser. Did your sister know the sex of the baby yet?
no. You never know, man. It was going to be a surprise. I mean,
Hey,
this is some other cheesy shit I'm about to say, but it's like, another thing that I just try to hold on to is like the positive and stuff is that, like, I mean, let's face it, man, this world is a dark, fucked up place, dude. You know what I mean? And he's in a place now, dude, of fucking light, compassion, and love. Like something that we can't even comprehend. I mean, we can get close there with the bufo and shit. We kind of understand it. You know what I mean? We know there's this other realm. And I'm not religious at all, but I do believe there is some type of other larger conscience and other, you know, and either that or a fucking sim. You know what I'm saying? I go both ways. But I like to believe that, you know, he's like, we're just sad because he's not with us, but the reality is it's like better for him to be in this place because of the health issues he was having.
Can you tell the story about seeing those hawks?
Yeah, that was actually the day after, but I don't know, man.
I think that shit's cool, dude.
Yeah, it was just me and my sister and my aunt and uncle and my cousin and my little nephew were out back, and they were mostly talking. I was kind of disengaged, and at the same time, like, those jets were flying by from Luke Air Force Base a lot, so we'd be talking, and also you can't say anything. You have to wait for them to go by and shit. But my nephew fucking loves those things, so every time, you know, we're pointing at him, and then all of a sudden, dude, a fucking hawk flies by. And he loves birds and shit too, so he's usually pointing up. I was like, holy shit, look at that. I didn't say holy shit. I was like, but look at that, Ethan. And he's like, oh, birdie. And it just flies all the way around over here. And then there was another hawk, and it just joined the other hawk, and they just started flying. And apparently my sister didn't even know that was happening. Well, she knew about the hawk. She didn't know I filmed it because, you know, Ethan was all excited. But I took my camera out for some reason and just filmed it and shit. And
that's dope, dude.
I was doing a little deep dive. I guess there's some type of significance to that, if you believe in that shit.
Yep.
Especially like
eagles and hawks and birds of prey and shit.
Yeah.
You know, that flying.
Just like being in the afterlife and being free and all that. Yep. And my sister was even saying something like it could be my mom and dad, you know, or symbol of that or something like that.
Fuck yeah, dude. Fuck yeah, I'm all about that shit, bro. I don't doubt that for a second, dude. Even if it's not them, it's something that is telling you, hey, everything's cool.
Yeah. I did feel like oddly just peaceful at that moment.
Yeah.
Because I was like having this, you know, cool moment with my little nephew and shit. He could barely talk, and he's looking up, all excited and shit. And
I think that's the fucking cycle of life, brother. That's the shitty thing. Or maybe it's not the shitty thing. Maybe, like you said, it's the good thing. Maybe it's the good thing.
What, that he's gone
and he's in.
That's what I'm saying. Like that's like a fucked up wording and thing to say, but like ultimately in the grand scheme of things, because we don't understand anything, like it might be even better.
Yeah, it might be.
And like I also think like time is just so slow while we live it, but in the actual reality of things, it's so fast that once we're in this other realm, like, oh, that was
it
nothing.
Will mean nothing.
Yeah, that was fucking nothing. Yeah. That was like a little test.
I believe that shit.
You know what's weird, dude, is mourning a death and doing psychedelics, as far as the thoughts that you have, exactly the same almost. The only difference is the emotion. So when you're mourning a death, you're sad. And when you're on psychedelics, you're usually generally happy because, you know, I don't know, you get goofy and shit like that. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
So like you think about, you know, the point, you know, what's the point of life? All this fucking shit, this and that.
Yeah.
You think of that on psychedelics.
Yeah.
Well, you think of that while you're mourning. But when you're mourning, you're like, you know,
Mm-hmm.
kind of crying about it and shit. When you're on psychedelics, you're kind of like happy about it. I don't know. I know it's very. I realized that this morning. I was like, wow, I'm having similar thoughts to when I'm fucking on crazy ass psychedelics, particularly mushrooms.
So I was gonna ask you, have you do you have any mushrooms?
I do. I've been sitting on some for a while.
You gonna fucking take some or what?
Um,
Because I know we had talked about.
I was ready to blast off last week. I was ready to blast off yesterday. Today I pussed out. I think once it becomes real today,
Yeah.
it's just like, because it's doing the bufo is extremely frightening.
Yeah. It's
Because
very
it is
frightening.
like, I don't want to say it, compare it to death, but supposedly, you know, you have similar experiences, especially seeing the white light and all that shit.
Well, you know, also like there is something to it though that I will say that when it first starts hitting you, and this is the only part that I've ever gotten to, you know, I've never gotten to a point where I can disassociate. But when it first starts hitting you, those butterflies go away. Like, cuz you have those butterflies, those really bad butterflies. And when it first starts hitting you, the butterflies, you just get this calming feeling.
Oh, wow.
And
Yeah, I know it's like excuse me, it starts off frightening, but eventually it's not frightening the whole time.
yeah.
Eventually, you know, it's like a kaleidoscope
Yeah.
of love and fucking gestures.
Yeah. Little fucking things running around.
I'm ready to actually microdose. I actually have all the capsules ready to go. I just feel like I don't want it to fuck up my bufo experience. I don't want Cybusone in my system when I do the bufo. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah.
I kind of want to just do the bufo and then after that start.
Make sure that the psilocybin doesn't take anything away from
that.
Yeah.
So I can like discern the trips.
Yeah.
Or the, you know.
Yeah. You let me know, bro. Let me know.
Fuck.
It's super scary, dude. It is. It's super scary, but
It's like, do I want to leave my body right now? Blast off into a kaleidoscope of love and
yeah, I do.
I mean, I do. It sounds great on paper, but
Mm-hmm.
when you actually have the glass dick out and the bufo inside the torch, it's like, oh fuck, here we go.
Yeah.
The best like part of it though is knowing that it's only no more than 20 minutes.
Yeah.
I have no clue how I was able to do all those kinds of crazy drugs and as we were teenagers, as far as especially LSD, just popping hits of acid all the time. Dude, I could not imagine taking a hit of acid right now. I mean, I think I could do it, but I would really have to prep myself because you're going fucking deep. That's
Dude,
at least 8 to 12 hours.
We would do it on such a regular basis.
Well, you would. I did it a lot, but not every day for like 2 years.
But we did it on such a regular basis that it wasn't scary, right? It wasn't scary.
I think it wasn't scary because we're so fucking young and ignorant and dumb.
You're 100% right. You're 100% right.
You know what I mean?
I had
We just hear about our heroes doing it. We just
I
hear
felt
about
invincible.
yeah, Jimi Hendrix. Everyone was like, "Oh, they do it. Fuck yeah!"
Yeah. And my first couple of
And it was
experiences
awesome.
were awesome.
Amazing.
Yeah. I'd never had a bad until the last time. I never had a bad experience on LSD, dude.
You had a bad trip the last time?
Oh yeah, dude. Because I was the only one that took it, and everybody fucking passed out, and I got caught in a loop watching fucking like Charles Manson shit on Biography, bro.
I'm glad you didn't murder anybody.
Yeah, I know. It was
When
fucking,
was that?
God, we were probably in our 20s. It was at Belanzi's house, and we were playing poker, and I fucking had, I don't know, like 3 or 4
You just
hits.
decided to take a hit? A few
Well, I
hits?
thought fucking other people were going to take some with me, and nobody took any, and I was like, well, I was looking forward to taking acid.
Well, that sucks too, is frying alone.
Yeah.
Well, actually, you never cared about that.
The scariest shit that ever happened to me was fucking Chris and fucking.
Oh God. Do you
Yeah.
want to tell that story? real
Oh
quick?
my God. Oh my God.
This is why I don't want to do any of this shit around your brother. You know what?
I love my brother. I fucking love my brother. You guys know I love my brother. My brother's a good dude, but my brother had a fucking hell of a trip one night that fucking scared the living piss out of me.
On LSD?
Like, you know how when you get really scared and your jaw starts going like this, and like it's the adrenaline in your jaw. It's
It's like you're almost crying, but you're not sad. It's just because of the adrenaline. Yeah.
That was happening to me. So it's a work night.
Well, I mean, but was it LSD?
Yeah. It's a work night, and like 2:00 in the morning, I get this call on my cell phone from Dustin. And Dustin goes, "Hey, bro, me and your brother took acid tonight, and or took LSD tonight, and he's kind of tripping out, bro."
You're like, what?
I'm like, all right, fucking, all right. He's like, no, he's really tripping out. You need to come get him. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I get up.
He lived far as fuck too, didn't he?
Yeah. And so I get up, I go out there. The whole time I'm like, motherfucker. I get there and he's, I go in and my brother's running around. He's got his shirt off, but his pants on, his shoes on, everything, right? And he's running around with a Nerf gun. And he's running around with his Nerf gun, playing Nerf gun, right? And he sees me and he goes, Bryan.
He's probably so happy.
Yeah, he was so happy.
Because you know when things on a trip are so weird?
Yeah.
Because he probably didn't expect you to show up.
No. And he's like, oh my God, bro. He goes, dude, you're God. I'm God. You're God. But what if we're dead? And he just would go in and out of these really fucking manic states. Like, are we dead, Bryan? Are we dead?
Wasn't this at Dustin's parents' house?
And you want to hear something even worse? I get to Dustin's parents' house and I got a shit so fucking bad,
so
dude.
I have to wait.
So I'm like, hold on, Chris.
That must have been trippy for him. You know what I mean? You know how weird that must have been? Like you just show up and shit while he's frying his balls out playing Nerf gun?
And that time that I probably went to go shit, how long it took for him.
Well, it's probably like years.
So that was probably like when I came back, that was when he had his like...
Epiphany?
His epiphany. He's like, holy dude, are we dead? And I'm like, no, Chris, dude, we're okay, bro. So...
But I don't understand. Where are the parents?
Nobody was there. It was just...
Oh, they were out of town or something?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And
they're sleeping.
So I at that time I had just Xanax at the house. So I gave him a couple. I knew, like at the time you if you're ever in a problem,
like to pop Xanax.
Yeah. So I gave him. I said, here, take this, and I go to put him in the car and I go to drive, and he starts. Like on the freeway, he starts freaking out and he wants to jump out of the car. And I'm like, no, fuck. So I turn back around and I go back to Dustin. I go, dude, you got to ride with me in the car because you have to keep him in the car. Like he's trying to fucking get out of the car. And he would go through these phases, you know what I mean? Of being okay. And then what the fuck is going, he just tripped out. He completely tripped out.
Do you know how many hits he took?
No. Multiple. I think they were liquid doses too. They were just drops.
But Dustin was fine. So Dustin's that's the worst when you're frying and having to babysit. So you asked him to do all of this while he's frying.
You know the horrible story about the worst story about babysitting somebody is fucking Taylor. When we had to fucking babysit Taylor, we had to literally call his mom.
And I thought you called the paramedics or the fire department.
Well, no, she told us call the fire department.
Yeah, because I think I talked to him about that after, and I was like, what was going on through your mind on acid when the fire department, because I guess they pulled him on a stretcher, right?
Yeah.
I was the only one that wasn't there, by the way. You got, because I missed that hangout that day when that happened.
So,
but just really quick, I asked him, and he said, I thought I was fucking in like the 7th stage of hell, and demons were pulling me down like another level or something. I was like, what the fuck? That is dark.
Yeah.
Because I guess he was screaming and shit, right?
I guess. I don't know.
Oh, you didn't see that
No,
part?
that was at his mom's house.
Oh, I thought that was at
No,
Olin's house.
No, so we called the mom.
And the mom picked him up.
The mom came and grabbed him, and we told her, we go, I literally took him out to the car, and I go, he's on an acid trip, you know. She's like, oh, I know, it's probably a real he's taken it before or something like that, you know.
She knew he was in all that weird shit.
Yeah.
He was into like all the cool drugs before he even knew what they were.
Dude, he was making salvia before anybody knew what salvia was. He was making fucking trying to make DMT before anybody knew what DMT
He's like
was.
Fucking dude. That's what Hamilton Morris reminds me of, dude.
Yes. Shout out to fucking Taylor Breer, fucking real cool dude, man.
And Hamilton Morris, really cool show.
Fuck, bro.
Oh man,
it just sucks how hard you have to fucking search to find him.
You know what? I thought I was a complete noob because I was having difficulty finding it, but he actually admitted it on Twitter. He goes, I know this is difficult to find. Just find it somewhere.
Yeah.
But because episode they drop every Monday, so.
Yeah, that fucking thing about seeing him hit that Xenon was fucking hilarious, bro. That was so funny. That dude's a fucking...
So Hamilton Morris, we've talked about him before, but he has a show called Hamilton's Pharmacopoeia. And he just goes around and does the craziest, wildest drugs, but he talks about the chemistry behind it, the cultures behind it, the rituals behind it. He's doing some like crazy like tramadol in Africa, and then they do like an iboga ceremony or some shit. Or no, tramadol addicted cows, or for some reason, and then ends up doing like an iboga ceremony. Or I don't know. I can't wait to watch it. I just can't find it. Anyway, man, I appreciate you sitting through this with me and powering through that. It means a lot. And I also want to just thank everyone who's ever even listened to this podcast, and especially if you subscribed, because we actually just hit 1,200 subscribers, dude. So
fucking badass, dude.
That's pretty cool.
Well, you said in the beginning that there's been a couple comments, you know, here and there every once in a while that really
it's just motivational, you know.
Yeah.
And we have been lacking content, I'd say, for the last 6 months or so compared to, say, the first year. And I don't want to blame COVID, but there are certain guests. We actually had some very exciting guests lined up that just don't want to leave the house, which I respect. You know what I mean? We've had lots of cancellations. We just need to book a shit ton of guests and just fucking
rock out.
Yeah, rock out. So, we'll get back on it. So,
word.
Is there anything else you want to add?
No, just glad that fucking hockey season's back on.
Is that your favorite team right there?
No.
The Coyotes?
I don't have a favorite team anymore, dude.
Oh. Just whoever's winning?
No, I'm a player fan, dude.
Oh, yeah. What if one of your favorite players went to the Flyers?
I wouldn't like them.
You hate them that much?
Fuck the Flyers. And on that note.
All right. Well, yeah, if you like the podcast, don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, all that shit. There's some more videos above McClay's head. And we do actually have some exciting guests lined up already, but I'm going to try to start doubling the content coming out and put out some more shows and shit.
Yeah. Let us know if you like these shows too, when it's just us. Let us know.
Awesome. And yeah, thanks everyone for watching. That is a wrap on episode 114 of the Bogcast.
Let's do this. Ads, baby. Ads, baby.
Okay. Yeah.
No, wait, let's do that again, man. Ads, baby. Ads, baby. Ads, baby.
Okay. Yeah.
No, wait, let's do that again, man.
Ads, baby. Ads,
I don't know. I'm fucking just trying to fucking get the fuck out of here, dude.
Ads, baby. Ads,
We have now partnered with Mellow by Design to bring you handcrafted, high-quality CBD at a discounted price. No promo code.
Nope.
All you have to do is go to bogcastcbd.com, and all the prices are already reduced. Tinctures, topical sprays, pet drops, salves, and even hand sanitizer.
COVID, bro.
Vegan-friendly, all-natural, gluten-free, and sweetener-free. No THC.
Bummer.
Oh my god.
They won't watch this.
Bang!